Codamite on page. The Ruilali Case. Game number 17. Movie 5. BXKDP. Black forges. Then M circumflex accent percent and slash slash slash. Circumflex accent V percent question mark slash slash slash. Circumflex accent percent 7 question mark M. Game number 18. Move 14 KDXR. Black Ryan and WORMALD in consultation. White Bowers. White LOWEXTIAL. Game number 19. Move 15 BB6. Black ANDERSSEN. JL. Game number 20. Move 27 PKD6. Black BLACKBUR and IIJW millimeters W dot mile VM Y slash asterisk OS asterisk X circumflex accent PHB. I pages IM I. White Neumont. White Steinitz. The Rui Lopez. Continued from page 57. 39. 199. Game 20. If 19 PQ for J20 PKS best not PX on account of the replied KDB $20 PB 21 PKR4, with an excellent attack. 200. Game 20. Threatening both wings, but chiefly the king's side after removing the B201. Game 20. After 24 KD 2K square. 25 PKR4, 25 QKD2, 26 QXQCH, 26 KDXQ, or 26 KXQ, 27 PRs, etc. 27 PXB, 27 KDR4, 28 KDKD5 threatening page 67 chapter 28. KKDXBT, 29 PR5, White has an irresistible attack, for it 29 KDXB, 30 RXKD followed by RKD square wins. And if 29 KKD2, 30 PXB, 30 PXB, 31 RR7 chapter and wins. Game 20. This wins a piece by force. For obviously if PXB, KD5 follows. Game 20. If 29 RB2, 30 KRKD square chapter, 30 KR square, 31 BK3, 31 PKR3, 32 BQ for chapter, 32 KR2, 33 BXB chapter, 33 RXB, 34 RKD7 chapter, 34 KR square, 35 QRKD square and wins. Game 20. White threatens according to circumstances, RK6 or RK7. 202. 203. 204. Double Rui Lopez. 4 knights game and 3 knights game. The double Rui Lopez is a continuation of the 4 knights game in which both parties follow up by BKD5. The attack by KDQ5 had been greatly in favor with first-class practitioners for many years, until the author played in his match with Zucker. Toward, in 1886 see Illustrated Games. The defense pointed out in Call I, which rests chiefly on a combination of black sits and A moves. 7. PK5 had already been played Mr. Gunsberg, but in conjunction with 8. QPXB it makes the game so equal at early stage as to render the attempt of an attack absolutely useless. In Call 2 the attack with KDQ5 is made before castling, and though it leads to an exchange of queens and to the doubling of one of black's pawns, the second player obtains a powerful counter-attack on account of his 2 bishops, and the whole on white's kilobytes 3 and KR3, which makes the protection of white's KD difficult and gives black entrances into the adverse game. Call 3 also leads to an even game at least for the defense, and in fact we would slightly prefer black at the end. But as most players would hesitate to move their king early in the opening, the defense in Call I, which simplifies matters at an early stage, is to be preferred. Call 4 is a modification of a variation that occurred in a fine game between Wiener and Zucker toward in the Paris Congress. Compare Call 1 and Illustrative Games. It ought to end in an even game by proper treatment such as we propose, whereas the way played in that game white obtained an excellent attack at the expense of a pawn, which blocked the adverse center and retarded black's development. Call 5 is another alteration of the opening moves of a celebrated game between Poulsen and Morphy, very finely played by white, whose 8th and 9th moves show exceedingly strong position judgment. by inducing, or in fact compelling black to advance circumflex accent. 8. PQ-84, he practically demolishes the queen's side. But in actual play Poulsen commits the position blunder by transposing the order of correct moves, and this makes all the difference in the analytical results. 1-1 PQ-B3 ought, we believe, to render black's game untenable. For PQ4 will follow to drive the B back, and then B63 con. Tied sooner or later, perhaps after PQ-84 will form an irresistible attack on the queen's side. L6 represents a difference in tactics on a principle which is better explained in Note 13, which deals with the move hitherto recommended by authors, this 9 square for the attack. But we feel sure that this ought only to lead to an even game, and in some variations that have been offered in demonstration that white can press the attack, we find that the defense ought to obtain the superior position. Our main difference in opinion is that the center attack commencing with K square is a failure, and that a wing attack with the KBP prepared by harass. 42. The double Ruiz-Lopez. King the queen at once with the QP and the KD is the proper plane. If our premises are right, it is quite obvious that the R is wanted to remain at kilobytes square in order to support the advance of the KBP to 65. In Call 7 we propose an extension off the line of play against a counter-attack hitherto recommended, which we believe ought to be in white's favor. The game was generally dismissed as even on black's 8th move, but we think that the addition of 2 moves will demonstrate our contention. Call 8 shows how white might be led to compromise his game by a plausible sally on the 6th move, which apparently wins a piece. The variations produce an interesting and spirited attack, but by best play black ought to obtain the advantage. Calls 9 and 10 deal with inferior continuations on the part of the first player, while calls 1, 1 and 12 contain novel analysis to demonstrate that a defense in the 3 knights game 3, PK-KD3, which we ourselves have favored for some time, is unsatisfactory and how the first player ought to take advantage of it. The double Ruiz-Lopez, for knights game and 3 knights GAMK. 43. PK for PK4. Page K for PK4 I PK4. The 4 knights game. KKDB3 flop KDB3. QKDB3 KKDB3 and QKDB3 flop KDB3. QKDB3 KKDB3. NTK KDB3 KDB3. TB3. KB3. QKDB3 KDB3. Ruiz-Lopez continuation. Double Ruiz-Lopez defense. K. Calls. I24. Circumflex accent asterisk BKD circumflex accent. Second defense. The underscore. Cal. 5. B64. Third defense. The underscore. Cal. 6. Circumflex accent PQR3. Fourth defense. The underscore. Cals. 7-2. Second continuation. Circumflex accent page tilde Q for underscore. Cal. 9. Third continuation. Circumflex accent PQR3. Cal. 10. The 3 knights game. V. Page K49 KKDB30 KDB3 the PK4 QKDB3. Defense. Q underscore. Cals. N to 12. Sub KKD3. 44 The double Ruiz-Lopez. For knights game and 3 knights game. KKDB3. PK4 IPK4 QKDB3 3 circumflex accent T circumflex accent KDB3 BKDs. 3. KDQ5. PX asterisk BKD 50000 RKDQ50 KT 3 PK5 7 PXKD PPXKD slash PK5 NPXKD QPX 10 BXP QPXP DXP PXKD QB3 QBK25 QKDKDSQ 6Q OOPXKDQ KD4 PB circumflex accent BB4 7 PXKD 5 KDXKD8 UPXKD 5 4 FI64 circumflex accent 6 PQR3 BXKD PKDX The double Ruiz-Lopez. KUK Knights game and II1 KKK Knights GAMK 45 Cal. The same position may be arrived at in the Petrov's defense, or in Fekete opening, or in the ordinary Ruiz Lopez by a transposition of moves. This attack originated with Mr. Poulsen. It was greatly in favor with Zukertoward, who adopted it very frequently in matches and tournaments. This excellent defense was first adopted by Gunsberg against Rankin in the Viziant Tournament of London, 1883. It leads to an easy, even game by proper continuation. If 8 KDPX 96 K2, better than 9 BR4, 9 PX K 10 QX 10 BR3, 11. Page _Q31 for if IR K square, 10 RK square, 12 RXR chapter, 12 QXR, 13 QKS, 13 BQB4, and wins, 1 Q Rs with the attack. 9 PX K 10 BX and white will obtain the advantage sooner or later by PQ for PQB3 and PQKD4, which prevents the doubled pawn from being dissolved, as occurred in the above-mentioned game between the ref. C. Rankin and Gunsberg. This game, however, ended in a draw. Or 9 BX 9 PX 10 KDKS if 10 KDK square, 10 BR3, 11 PQ3, URD K square dot plus 10 QQ for, then KDKD for IIPQ for, IIBR3, 12 PQR3, 12 BR4, plus, not 12 BXR, on account of the replied PXB, followed by PQKD3, 1 P kilobytes 4, 12 KDK3 plus, 12 QB2 plus, L2, or 9 KDK5, 9 QKD4 and wins, or 9 QK2, 9 OQ, 10 KDQ for, 10 QXKD, IIPQB3, then QQ for, 12 PXB, 12 PQR for plus, L2. Continued 15 RK square, 15 KRK square chapter, 16 KB2, 16 RXR, 17 KDXR, 17,664 chapter, or 15 page 63 if 15 PQ for, 15 RX 16 page 63, 16 RK square chapter, 17 K62, 17 BX 18 KXB, 18 RQ6 chapter, plus, 15 KRK square chapter, 16 KB2, 16 RQ6, 17 KDQ for 17 KDK square, 17 B64 chapter, 18 KB square, 18 RB6 chapter, 19 KKD2L, 19 R67 chapter, 20 KKD square, PR6 and mates into moves, 17 kilobytes QB4, 18 PKR3, 18 BXKD chapter, 19 PXB, 19 R20B6 chapter, 20 KKD2, 20 RK7 chapter, 21 KKD square, 21 RK767, 22 PXB, black mates in 3 moves. L3, better than 8 QK to chapter, 9 KQ square, 9 Q63, 10 RK square chapter, locked USQ, IIPQB3, IIB64, 12 PQ3, 12 PKR3, 13 BQ2 plus L3. If BK to white replies PQ6, L3, or IIPQB3, II664, 12 PQKD4, 12 BQ3, plus not 12 BKD3, 13 PQ3, 13 PKR3, 14 PQ6, 14 PXB, 15 6 to 64, 15 KRKKD square, 16 PQB4, with a powerful attack. L4. If 9 BKD3, 10 QKD4, 10 OO, or 10 Q63, 10 PQ for UPX 12 QB, KD5, and wins, UQB KD5, II page 63, 12 BR6, 12 QK2, 13 PQ6, 13 PX 14 664 chapter, with a very good position for the P-. Compare illustrative game note. I. 12. L. 5. Black's pawns are now weak. Yet he has nothing better, for if he captured the K at once, white will exchange knights followed by the XB chapter, which black dare not take on account of the answer Q63 chapter. 13 L 6 better than 9 RK square, 9 BK3, 10 PQ4, 10 Q64, 10 BKD5, 10 PKR3, 12 BR4, or 12 QQ3, 12 QKDs 12. Dot BQ3, 13 PKKD4, 13 QKD3, 14 L 6 or 9. Dot QQ3, 10 KD63, 10 QQ square, 10 P kilobytes circumflex accent IIPK to 12 page 65 to 1. 46 The double Ruiz Lopez. 4 nights game and 3 nights game. Page K49 KKDB3. The double Ruiz Lopez. 4 nights game and 3 nights game. 47 IB L 7 if 9 QQB4, 10 PQKD4, 10 QXP HKDQ5, then Q64, 12 KDXB plus 16 L 8 or 6 dot KXKD 7 KD 7 KDXB 8 QR's chapter recovering the piece with a P ahead, or F6 KDXKD 7 QPXKD 7 QK to chapter 8 BK3 8 KDXB 9 KDXR followed by OO and RKSQ dot plus L7 L 10 a favorite move of Mr. Gunsberg. Its apparent object is to prevent in the continuation. For B64, 5 KDX 5 KDX KD, 6 PQ for the answer 6 BKD5. 1.8 L 10 White's position is identical with that of black in the previous column, with the exception that his QRP is moved 1 square. The move in the text is now better than page 63, which would leave a weak spot at QKD3. 19 L 11 or 9 RKD square, 10 kilobytes QB4, 10 RX 11 BKD dollars plus 20 L II continued 11 PX 12 PX 12 KDK2 or 12 BX 13 kilobytes 64 13 QK 2 by 3 KRKSQ dot plus 13 kilobytes QB4 1300 14 PK6 I for question mark X ISBK speech 15K RSQ dot I6 RXBN wins 21 L 1-2 as black is bound to castle on the king's side, he cannot allow the adverse KRP to advance and open the R file. PKR4 is also inconvenient as white would reply PK2, followed soon by PKKD4. 22 L 12 continued 12 dot P kilobytes 3 13000 13 BK3 14 PRs 14 PKD4 15 PKKD3 plus 48 The double Ruiz Lopez. 4 nights game and 3 nights game. NV KKDB3 KDB3 JB tilde KD5 UK greater than underscore R. 4 USG. Game 1. Paris Chess Congress, 1878. WINA WZUKER Leonardi. QKDB3. Game 2. Match, 1886. ZUK Leonardi Titans. Greater than KDB3. Circumflex accent. Game 3. Game 4. New York Congress, 1857. International Chess Magazine, May, 1888. The AXJUDD Pulsage Titans. Morphe. KDQ5B4. Then KDXKDPXKD1 KDQS. PKDXKDBXKD and PQB3BKD3. 11. 12. BKDs P kilobytes 3BR6K.A. Kilobytes B for chapter. KR square. PB4. I number sign BS. Odd underscore QKD4 IQB circumflex accent 5 circumflex accent QRKDSQ. 9. Page KR4 circumflex accent job underscore KDC. KDPXBPBXQBP. 25. RXBQR35 QRQR for 6 ABPR for KRKR4. FL/PB6 to CB. KKDSQ. And QB. 30. PR3 RKKD for QRK square dot exclamation point 7 KRX58. KDQS FA KDX KDPX KDKDX KD5 6. RPX KDPK. PX KDQXD10. QPX BPX 10 QPX BQ 3B12. KD2 13. BB square 14. 15 square. KRKSQ.15. BQ for 16 RBXB chapter 17. 18 greater than Rs KDSQ. Vertical line QR7 chapter 18. QZR5 chapter. KK to 19 RK3 chapter. QR8 CHBR6D2 OK to 21. 22. RK square chapter. QR2 QXQCH. Game 1 conded. White wins. 9. Game to conft. 31 page underscore QB4. 32 PZ circumflex accent 23 white resigns. Game 3 conft. RB8 white resigns. OOKDQ for 24. LQKD3 25. Vertical line PXB. QK3. PQKD3. 15 BKD2R. Q6B. R6. 19 BQ6 RR3 26 QK27 28. A page underscore kilobytes 4. 99 RKD3 circumflex accent RB2. QR8 chapter. QXQ chapter. RR3. 27. D00029. Flop underscore B430. So circumflex accent P. 02031. And KDXB RKSQ. 32. QPX KDPB B433 PQKH30 for QBK2 35 KDXB and KDXKD. 36. 37. JBB3. 11 RK3. 1. Page B3. IN. 10 BKD3. Negative to 38 to 39. 1 RXB IOPQRR. Idea QRK square. QR640I slash QXBB41 RKB3 chapter. KR square. PR6 RQS. 42 KKD square. B square. 23. 24. M. Colon H. 43. KKD square. PR6 dis. Chapter. KR square. Tilde 44 QB square. RR3.PQ for circumflex accent 5. Circumflex accent Q. TLLK double Rui Lopez. For night's game ham TIIK1 $IK Ankits 1 came. 49. Wynor V. Zucker toward. Game I. Compare call. For endnote 1-1. Game I. BB2 was preferable, for the B is now exposed to the attack of hostile pawns. Game I much better than by B, though the latter was also safe. Game I this is play of the highest order. Game I. If 25. BXR, 26 BXB, 26 RKDs or 26. QR3, 27 BXRP, etc. 27 BXQ, 27 RXQ, 28 B negative 63, 28 RK4, 29 PR6, 29 KRK square, 30 BKD3, with an excellent attack. Game I. An excellent move which retards the development of Black's B and gives White time to form his K-side attack. Game I his game was lost, but R63 was his best resource. Game I masterly played, though not very deep, for it threatens double chapter mate at once by RKD8. It forms a well-worked out link in the elegant chain of Wynor's combination. Game I. Continued 31. KXB, 32 QKD for chapter, 32 KR square. 33 PX 33 BQ6 chapter, 34 KB square, 34 QBKB4, 35 QR4, 35 R*7, 3 RQ for 36 BQ square, 37 QKD3. Zucker toward V. Steinitz. Game 2. If 9 PXQP, 9 PXB threatening to capture the R with 8. And if 9 PXKDP, the B retakes with a powerful attack. Game 2. Threatening to win the piece by QK4, but not as good as BK2. Much better was PQB3, with the object of retrieving B62, and then advancing P circumflex accent 4. Game 2. Black threatened QK4, and the only other move was PQB3, whereupon Black could force an attack by PKbytes 4. Game 2. Driving the adverse Q somewhat out of play, for obviously Black dare not reply QB6 on account of the rejoinder BX. Chapter. Game 2. If 15 QX 16 bq2, threatening r square, followed by bq b3, winning the q, with a strong attack. Game 2. Much better was now 16. Qx with the probable continuation, 17 bxb, 17 pxb, 18 qk4, 18 pkkd3, 19 qq4, 19 qr6, 20 pqkd4, 20 pqb4 plus. Game 2. This sacrifice is unsound, but black had clearly the best of the game anyhow. Game 2. White could recover the piece by bxb followed by pqb4, but black would afterward ply qq7 with great advantage. Game 2. In the actual game a series of repetition moves were made on both sides. Game 2. UNAVAILING, but 24 are KD3, 24 are K2, 25 are XB, 25 are XR, 26 BR6, 26 KK2, leads to the same position as occurred. Game 2. Best. If 24 PX circumflex accent, 25 QXBP chapter, 25 B62, 26 QXRP chapter, 26 K, KT square, 27 RR3, 27 BI4, 28 RKB3 chapter, 28 QKD5CH, 28 K Esquire, 29 RR8CH, winding the Q, and though black has 3 pieces for it, the 3 passed pawns and the exposed position of black's king make white's game very strong. Game 2. If QXB chapter, then, of course, black replies BB2, threatening RKKD square, etc. GA.We2. Black threatens PX followed by RR6, and all the pawns on the queen's side must fall. Jud v. Steinitz. Game 3. If 10 QX, he loses the piece by 10 RK square. IIKDKS, then DQ3, followed BB page kilobytes 3. Game 3. We prefer now U. QQ for 12 PXB, 12 PQR4, followed by PR3. Game 3. Threatening RKD3. Game 3. He ought to have still continued with 20 RKD3, for it 20 QXQ, 21 RXB chapter, 21 KR square, 22 RXBPC allies. Chapter, 22 KJCD square, or 22. QK4, 23 RXR chapter, 23 KKD2, 24 JXQ chapter, 24 KXR, 25 BXB plus, 23 RKD7 chapter, and draws. Game 3. As white evidently aimed at the square where this piece stood, it was best not to give up the P. Game 3. Better was RR2, but then black would have played PKR3, followed by doubling rooks against the KRP, which would also be further attacked by the B if white in the meanwhile. Continued on page 51. So the double Ruiz-Lopez. For knight's game and 3 knights game. Game note. I. Move 30. KRXBBLACKZUKER. Game number 2. Move 24. PR6. Black Titans. M/S. Asterisk slash 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 dot slash 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 r slash 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 white WINAW white ZUKER. Game number 3. Move 26 RKKD4. Black Titans. Game number 4. Move 17 QXB. Black Morphy. High W circumflex accent S circumflex accent circumflex accent circumflex accent 1I. White Max Judd. White Paulson. The double Ruiz-Lopez. For knight's game and 3 knights game. 51. Continued from page 49. Castled. Bit, however, 27 PR6, 27 RX, 28 PXB chapter, 28 KKD square, 29 29 K sleep, 30 QRR square, 30 PK6, and wins. Game 3. After this white's game is untenable. Paulson v. Morphy. Game for 2 -5 KDX 5 KDX KD, 6 page Q4, 6 BQKDs 5 7 PX KD, 7 KDX. 8 QQ for 8 KDX KD or 8. BXKTCH.JGPXB, 9 KDKD for 10 BR3, 10 kdk3, 11 qk4, then qkd4, 12 pkd3 plus, 9 pxkd, 9 bk2, 10 qb kilobytes 4. Is also greatly in white's favor. Game 4. Black recovers his piece, now given up, but greatly at cost of position. Game 4. Though apparently losing time, this is excellent play, as it compels the opponent to advance his qkdp, which makes black's position to the queen's side very weak. Game 4. Forced. If 8 kdx spear, 9 kdx kd, 9 rx kd, 10 bxb chapter, and should win. Game 4. The only move, but more than good enough. If 9 bkd3, 9 qbk-kd5, 10 qk square, 10 pkd dollars, iipkr3, 11 br4, 12 pkd4, 12 bk-kd3 plus. Game 4. The weak move at present, though remarkably strong if reserved after playing pqb3 at this point, which would have given Jack the superiority by far. Game 4. This allows the adversary to block white's pieces for a long time. Much better was 12 pq3, 12 pkd5. There seems nothing better. 13 bk3, and if 13 bxb, 14 pxb, 14 rxp, 15 qq2 plus. Game 4. Better than 15. pqr4, 16 bxb, 16 br3, 17 pkd dollars, 17 rxb, 18 pxb, 18 rk3, I circumflex accent pqb4, 19 qrk square, 20 br3, with the superior game. Game 4. On principle he ought to have seized the very first opportunity for dislodging the adverse, which hampered his development. qr6 at once would have completely turned the tables, and black would never recover from the bad position of his pawns on the q side. Supposing 16 qr6, I6 qkd3 or 4 or I6 qxq, 17 rxq, 17 qrk square, 18 bkd4, 18 rk2, 19 bxb, 19 rxb, 20 pq4, and must win, for with due precautions white will be able to support his qp sufficiently and then advance pqb4, 17 q4, 17 qrk square, 18 bk3, 18 pqb4, 19 pxb, 19 bxb5, 20 qkd7, 20 bq3, 21 pqb4, with a winning advantage. Game 4. White cannot be blamed for not seeing the most wonderful combinations that the opponent had prepared. The move in the text was very forcible still, but qq square was now the only right move, whereupon, no doubt, black would have answered pqb4, with the better game. Game 4. One of the most charming poetical chess compositions that has ever been devised in practical play. Game 4. Of course if rkd square, black takes and mate follows in 2 more moves by rk8 chapter. But full justice has not been done to Morphy's extraordinary position judgment, which shows it self on examination of the following lines of defense: 20 q3, 20 page 64, 21 q-64 chapter, 21 k b square, 22 qkr4 or 22 q kilobytes 4, 22 bxr, 23 qxb chapter, 23 r63, 24 qxrp, 24 rk8, and wins 22 bxr, 23 qxb, 23 kb2, and wins either by rk8 or r6 accordingly. Game 4. Black would have won much more elegantly by 22 rkd7 threatening rxrp, 23 qq3, 23 rxbp chapter, 24 kkd square, 24 kkd7 chapter, 25 k moves, 25 rkd8 mate. We think it right to mention that this variation was first discovered by the author, though it was afterward claimed by another player now deceased. Game 4. After this white must give up the queen again, and his game is hopeless. Game 4. His best defense was now kkd2. Game 4. For it 29 bxb, 29 rr3xb chapter, and the other are mate's next move. 52 The double Ruiz Lopez. For knight's game and 3 knights game. Game 5. Game 6. Game 7. London Chess Congress, 1883. VENGELIFCH Rosendahl. Page K4. The double Ruiz Lopez. For knight's game and 3 knights GAMK. 53. English v. Rosenthal. Game 5. We prefer KDK2 which prepares PQD3, and with 10, Viku.tb in slash this KD2 KD3. Game 5. As usual, it was unadvisable LZ to exchange the B for a KD. The correct play was KDK2. Game 5. BK3 would be our choice. If black had played well he would have neutralized the advantage of the two bishops. Game 5. Weak. He could have, at least, equalized the game by BXKD followed by PKKD4, which would have kept white's QB shut in. Game 5. Waste of time which could have been better employed by our K-square at once. For instance, Game 5. A bold sacrifice. Butwain doubt its absolute correctness. Game 5. With this imprudent exchange he justifies white's venture in actual play. But analysis would, we think, prove that 15 QKD square 16 QB3, we see nothing more promising. 16 KKD2, 17 QKD3, 17 KDR4, 18 QR4 18 P kilobytes 3 is in black's favor. Game 5. As good or bad almost as anything else for white is sure to obtain an irresistible attack by our kilobytes 4. If, for instance now, 18 PQR3, 17 BXKD, 17 BXB, 18 PQ5, 18 BKD2, 19 QQ4, 19 KKD2, 20 RK3, with a winning attack. Rosenthal v. Steinitz. Game 6. By the transposition of moves a 3 knights game position is soon arrived at. Game 6. In call 12 we give 18 KKDB3 as black's best move, but neither is satisfactory, and we think the king's fianchetto will have to be abandoned in the 3 knights game. Game 6. Anyhow wrong, for this B is better placed at K2 in this opening. But the strong BSD move at this juncture is, we believe, PKR4. Game 6. Much superior was, undoubtedly, QQ3. Game 6. Of course if PQB4, white would first attack the Q by PK4. Game 6. This advance is very weak and soon causes the loss of this P. Game 6. Forced. If Art K square, black would still capture the B followed by Q KDH after. Game 6. Threatening RX KD. Game 6. Accelerating defeat, but his game was already untenable as he was 2 pawns behind with by far the mid-creek position. Blackburn vs. Steinitz. Game 7. Up to this the moves of both parties are identical with those in the foregoing game with the exception that white's 2D and 3D moves were reversed in actual play. Game 7. Compare call 12 for the stronger continuation 7 KDXKD. Game 7. Much better was 9. PQ for, if white exchanged in the center it would have led to a position very similar to that arrived at in the previous game on black's side to TH move with the position of the defense slightly superior. If, however, white advanced PK dollars, the KD could retreat to Q2, with an even game. Game 7. Much inferior to KDK square, followed by PQB3, in case white replied the R6, after which black would obtain an excellent game by P kilobytes 4. Game 7. No more satisfactory was 12 KDXBCH, by 3 KDXKD, by 3 KDXB, 14 QQ for chapter, 14 KKD square, if 14 P kilobytes 3, 15 KDR4, or Q2 followed by P kilobytes 4, with a string attack 15 QB6, 15 BK3 or 15 KDB3, 16 QXQ followed by KDQS, I6 KDQ4, with an excellent attack, for if 16 KDB3, 17 QXQ, 17 QRXQ if KDXQ white answers effectually KD5, 18 KDXKD with the superior game. Game 7. If 13 P kilobytes 4, 14 P kilobytes 4, 14 KKD 63, 15 PX, 15 KDX, 16 KD, 17 KDQ5, with a fine attack. Continued on page 55. 54 The double Ruiz-Lopez. 4 knights game and 3 knights game. Game number 5. White's 1/5 move. Bob Skady P. Black Rosenthal. white ENGLISCH. Game number 6. Move 29 RK square. Black Titans. I// W// ill his eye. Game number 7. Move 24 R3. Black Titans. White Rosendahl. White BLACKBUR and E. 1 he double Ruiz Lopez. 4 knights game and 3 knights game. 55. Continued from Poggy F53. Claim 7. This weakens the QP. BQ2 at once was certainly better. Claim 7. The puzzling plan of attack, but not as correct and sure as OKDK2, threatening KDK 4 and preparing PQB4. Game 7. This was a grave error. 22. KDKD3, 23. QB6 chapter. If 23 KDK asterisk or RQ3, black may safely answer RX per 23 KD square. 24 KDK4, 24 KD circumflex accent 4, 25 RX KD nothing better 25 PXRJ 26 KD 26 RKD2 was sufficient to secure black's superiority. Game 7. The beautiful move that carries the victory by force. Game 7. 23. PKR3 was the only hope, though not of much use against best play on account of the continuation. 24 QB6 chapter, 24 KD square. If KR2, white answers KDK4, threatening KDKD5 chapter followed accordingly by RR3 chapter or KD67 25 RKD3, 25 RKD2 best E25 RIP. White wins by 26 RXB chapter, 26 OXR, followed by 27 QB8 chapter and R67 chapter. 26 KDK4, with an irresistible attack. Game 7. This powerful stroke leaves black without resource. Game 7. Giving an opportunity for a brilliant finish. But there was no help. If PKR4, white of course would reply RX spear, and 24 RK2 was equally useless, as black would answer QR6. Chapter, followed by KDK4, win easily. The Scout Gambit. This opening, which is one of the strongest in practical play as well as in theory, is already mentioned by old Italian writers, but derived its name and its introduction into public favor chiefly from the match between Edinburgh and London played in 1826-28. The most formidable attack in this opening is the one in which the P is immediately retaken on the fourth move, thus opening the Q file for white and liberating the KDP for a timely advance. We think, however, that our new defense pointed out in Call 3 with its simplifying tendencies ought to give the second player a satisfactory game which, at any rate, does not subject him to such complicated attacks as black has to sustain in most other variations. First in order, however, we have placed an entirely new line of development for white in answer to a move which we have, ourselves, favored in practice almost invariably, namely, for QRs, the propositions which we make in calls I and 2 for the purpose of counteracting this alley, initiate a new line of attack, resting chiefly on the strength of white's combined bishops and black's inability to castle in time. It seems to us that the form of attack which we suggest has the advantage of reducing black's resources practically to one main line of play on the fifth move, and again, later on, the defense has no better option than to exchange B for KD and to leave white with the powerful combination of two bishops. White's KD is also then better posted for the attack against the weak QB by being placed at QBJ, whereas in other variations the Q square forms the basis of operations for white's KD and the recovery of the P is made more difficult. In the next two columns the idea of advancing 7.PQ for with the view of giving up the QB is examined. L5 represents the leading form of black's counterattack as suggested by Herr von Gottschall in the Deutsche Skatien, which rests chiefly on the move 12. KD5. In Call 6 we propose quite an original line of play involving the sacrifice of a R for black. We think that this variation if adopted in practice is likely to lead to various brilliancies. The fact that white's KD is out of play practically reduces the sacrifice to that of the exchange only, and the undeveloped state of white's game and his inability to castle seem to us to give black sufficient attacking compensation for the venture. In Call 7 we differ again from the authorities who, we think, for insufficient reasons, Let the QKD be developed at QR3, instead of in the natural way at QB3. It seems to us that the sacrifice of the P which we afterward recommend, gives white a powerful attack. In the next 3 columns we dispose of 3 different lines of attack with some novel modifications in each and demonstrate them in favor of the defense. But in call U, which is a variation of call 10, the attack wins on account of an unfavorable move for black, which hitherto has held good in theory and practice, owing to the simple move 1-1 which we propose, having been overlooked. Finally in call 12 we analyze in a new way the strongest continuation in this form of opening, namely, 7 and we think we show satisfactorily, though in a novel manner, that white ought to obtain the advantage. *6. 58 The Scotch Gambit. In call 1-3 we think the Fraser attack in the Scotch Gambit receives a fair answer, showing that the second player ought to maintain the P without being subjected to much disadvantage in position. In the other columns of that page we have made different selections from variations already known with slight alterations and additions. In call 19 we show that an attack by 6 which hitherto has been held to lead to an even game is untenable and leads to disaster if continued with our new move. 8.kq square. Cal 20 is an ingenious variation quoted from the chess munch Jaley, but not taken up in books on the game as far as we are aware. Cal 2-1 was already given in the International Chess Magazine in a game between Senior Golombeck and Captain Mackenzie, but has not otherwise been mentioned in theoretical treatises. In call 22 we endorse a defense hitherto held weak, while another which was considered the best is in the next 2 columns proved to be unfavorable, and new lines of play not yet noticed are introduced into the columns with notes. Calls 25-27 contain novelties by Professor Berger first published in the International Chess Magazine. Cal 28 is taken from a game between the author and Zucker. Toward some original analysis will, however, be found in the last 2 columns of that table. In call 3-1 we propose to show that the capture of a P which hitherto was considered unsound may be safely adopted, and by a little alteration in the continuation offered by the authorities for the defense, we think that we prove our contention. In the next column the line of play which occurred between Messrs. Rosendahl and Bird is quoted and contains, we believe, the best moves on each side in that variation. Cal 33 gives a new successful defense to a theoretical attack, while the next column shows that the hitherto authorized defense merely leads to an even game. Cal 35 contains some explanatory additions of a complicated counterattack as examples, and in call 36 the last 2 moves on each side are new, and we believe a great improvement for the defense of Count Weizsäu's attack. In call 37 the defense 5.Q63 in last named attack is, we believe, shown to be dangerous at least, though it used to be approved of by the authorities. The next 2 columns contain obsolete defenses which, however, are of some theoretical value, being treated in a new manner and may be of use to beginners. In call 40, however, for BKD5 chapter seems to us to be quite as good as for B64, and perhaps even better, for we believe that the main line of attack by 600 which used to be dreaded formerly is sufficiently met by our new answer 6.Q63. The next 2 columns show the result of other defenses and end favorably for the attack. On the next table the most noteworthy innovations are those of call 46, as the same position may arise in the Danish gambit, and we propose to show by a new process that the 2 pawns may be maintained without danger. In the following columns of that table we show the danger of other defenses that have hitherto been recommended, and especially the line of attack in call 48 will be found interesting. In the last table some inferior defenses are examined, chiefly by our own independent analysis, and in some variations our conclusions differ from those of former authors. 10. Scotch Gambit. 59. KKDB3. The pawn is taken with the pawn px. First continuation. First defense counter. Second defense. For KDX. Third defense. Second continuation. First defense. second defense, third defense, fourth defense, third continuation, first defense, second defense. Pawn is taken with the knight q. KDX first continuation. 4 1 4g equals at VB3 3 negative 5 dot q KDB3 5 k KDB3 5 KD RBK3 O q equals KD CBK3 circumflex accent TRPV 5 1 BKD's chapter 5 BQB4 PX OQB3 4 second continuation KDX KD KL I 2 KL 13 KL 14 KL 15 to 18 KL 4 to 12 KL 29 30 KL 19 25 to 28 KL 20 to 24 KL 3 I to 57 KL 38 KL 39 KL 40 to 45 KL 47 47 KL 48 KL KL 53 6 O the Scotch Gambit KKDB3 KDXVIP K4 1 2 FA the Scotch Gambit 61 KL I if 3 underscore 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 PQ3 for page 63 with the superior game KL I by the transposition of moves the same position may be arrived at in one of the ordinary variations already invoked. This 5 KDKD5 5 BKD5 chapter 6 QKDD3 KL I is 6 dot KQ square 7 QUS 7 QK to 8 PQR3 and we preferred white for it 8 KD63 9 Q KL I or 9 underscore 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 KDKD5 10 KDKD5 10 KDXB chapter UQX UQXQ or II underscore 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 QK4CH 12KQ square 12PXQ 12KQ square 13664 13PQ3 F for QRQB square plus or F9 QK4CH 10BK3 etc. KL I if 10 underscore 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 OO II KDKD5 UQKD3 12BK3 12QR4 13PQB3 13KDQ4 14PQKD4F for it 14 underscore 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 KDXB white answers BXB chapter KL 2 no better is 10 dot QK3 chapter 11 KB square then KQ square 12 KRKD square 12 PKKD3 13 kilobytes KD4 13 page 64 14 BKD dollars chapter 14 KKDK2 15 QQ2 threatening RK square dot plus KL 2 after 13 KKD3 14 BK3 chapter 14 KR4 15 Q65 chapter 15 PQKD4 16 BQ2 chapter white mates in 2 more moves KL 3 or 8 QQ3 8 KDXB 9 QXKD 9 PQ3 KL 4 if 5 PQB3 5 QK2 6 QQ3 6 BXKD 7 PXB 7 QKD5 chapters and wins or if 5 KDXKD 5 QB3 6 QB3 6 QXKD. Point 0 KL 4 an ingenious defense first adopted by Dr. Isaacson against Zukertort. Compare International Chess Magazine, Volume 2, page 210, July, 1886. 1 KL 4 8 KDXKD 8 QXKD leads to an even game. Point 2 KL 4 or 9 PXB 90 on 10 PXB 10 RQ square 11 KDXBP 11 QK4 12 KDXR 12 KDX P 13 KB 13 KD kilobytes 3 14 QK square 14 KDKD5 chapter 15 KKDSQ 15 RQ8 16 QK2 16 KDXKP, 17 KB2, 17 KDKT dollars chapter, 18 K63 best, 18 QB4 chapter, 19 KKD3, 19 RQ6 chapter, 20 QXR, 20 Q67 chapter and wins. Point 3 L 4 for 13 QQ2, 13 QKDK2, 14 KDKD5, otherwise black will prevent the escape of the KD by PQR3, 14 QK4 chapter, 15 BK2, 15 KDX, 1600, 16 KD65, 17,660 for 17 KDR5 plus. If 13 Q kilobytes 4, 13 KDK4, followed mostly by QK2. Point 4 L 5. The move suggested by Herr von Gottschall in the Deutsche Schachjuden. 5 L 5. If KDQR3 black answers forcibly beat KD5. 16 L 5. Continued 17 KDR3 if 17 QQ2, 17 RK8 chapter, and makes next move 17 QR. B square, 18 B64, 18 RK6, 19 QQZ, 19 QKD6, and should win. 17 L 6. White cannot give up the Q for another R as his KD has no escape, nor can he play Q kilobytes 2 as black could win by RQ8 chapter. Likewise, if 12 QK2, 12 KDK4, 13 KDQ2, 13 KDQ6 chapter, 14 KQ square, 14 BKD dollars and wins. Again if 12 QQB2, black replies KDQ4 with 8. Find attack. Page K4 KKDB3 LP K4 QKDB3. The Scout Gambit. KDX speed B60 for KKDK2. BX KDP XB. Page K5. 8 9 10 11. 7 KDB2 20 BBXB underscore page kilobytes for PQ for 23 Q KD3. BX KD 21 QPXB PX00 dot KDB for 22. Then BXBIBB for 1 UQK KD4. BK to D. QKDQ to 11.1. 12. 1800 plus 1940 PKR4. RQ square. UKDXKD. 9 PXKDQ V tilde VBKDCRHHVK chapter. BXKDKDB3. K5. B62. Underscore B7 plus DHBK3. 12. 7 BQKD5 underscore SIPQR3S. PBR40 plus OKH. LVDK4. LOP QR3. BK2 plus 25. Column 7. Move N. BK2. Black. Asterisk WT circumflex accent. Column 10. Move NQB. Black. Circumflex accent white. White. The Scout Gambit. 63. 18. L. 7. If white is allowed to castle on the king's side, we consider that he is the better game. 19. L. 7. Black cannot save the p without subjecting himself to a vehement attack. If, for instance, 12 QR6, 13 QRKD square, 13 BK3, 14 RKD3, 14 QR dollars, 15 KDKT dollars, 1500, 16 BKD5, 16 QKS, 17 page 63 and wins. 20 L. 8. The move introduced by Dr. Meitner in the Vienna tournament of 1882. 21 L. Kate BQ3 or KDQ2 black may answer PQ for 22 L. 8. To prevent P kilobytes for. If our OPK KD4, 10 PQ for 11 PX KD5, threatening KD67 chapter, and recovering the P with the better game. L. 9. The game between Zukertoward and Anderson continued thus. 7 PQ3, 800, GPKR4, 9 P kilobytes 4, 9 QKD3, 10 QQ3, 10 PR5, then 663, 11 page 64, 12 PKS, 12 PXP, 13 KDXKD, 13 P. K5, 14 KDXKD, 14 BXKD, 15 QB2. Here we preferred 15 BX, 15 PXB, 16Q64 with the superior game. L. 9. This variation so far is given by Celbuli. 125. L. II. To prepare OO, which we consider better than OO as black would be bound to castle on the Q side, and white's attack will be strengthened by placing the K on the other wing. L. 12. For 7b64. See illustrative game between Skogoran and Schiffers. The move in the text is the invention of L. Paulsen, and is, we believe, the strongest at this juncture. L. 12. Likewise unfavorable is 7. PX80, 8PXB, 8QK3, 900, 9PQ4, or 9. QXKP, 10KD63, 10QB4, 10QKD3 is no better as white proceeds with PQ5, followed by QB kilobytes 4, 11PQ5, then KDK4, 12BQ4, 1200, 13P kilobytes 4, 13 KDKD5, 14 PKR3, 14 KD kilobytes 3, 15 PKKD4 plus, 10 PX, 10 KDX, 5 MQ63 plus, again if 7. KDQ square, 800, 8QQKD3, 9QK2, 900, 10 PQKD4, 10 BXKD, then BXB, with an excellent attack. L. 12. Not 1000, in which case black releases himself by KDQB5, greater than 4. PK4, Tin, Scotch Gambit. 65. The V / white plus $H hand. L. 13. This attack is the invention of Mr. G. B. Fraser of Dundee. L. 13. Ish 6 BKS, 6 KDKD5, 7 KD. L. By 3. After 6. BKD5 chapter 7 page 63, 7 BB4, 800, 8 KDB3, 9 PQKD4, 9 BK2, block ADQ2, block QQ4, then B64, 11 QKR4, 12 RK square, 12 PQ3, 13 PKR3, 13 KDQ square, 14 KD B square plus or F6. PQ3, 700, 7 QK2, 8 RK square, 8 BK3, 9 kilobytes QKD5, 9 QQ2, 10 KDQ4, 10 KKDK2, 11 QBKD5, 11 PQR3, 12 BR4, 12 PQKD4, 13 KDXB, 13 PXKD, 14 BKD3, 14 PQ4, 15 PQR4, followed by PR5 with the superior game. L. 13. Or IIBKD5, IIBK2, 12 QK2, 12 PQR3 plus. L. 14. Or 7 KDQ2, 7 B64, 8 PKKDs, 8 QR4, 9 KDKD3, 9 QBKKDs, 10 BIORQSQ, 11 Q64, II by B, 12 PXB, 12 BB6 plus. 34. L. 15. It makes no difference in our opinion whether this chapter be given at once, or after QXB chapter. The reason against the latter given by some authorities is, that after 5 QXBCH.6BK3, 6B circumflex accent KD5 chapter, white may answer 7 KDQ2, but with the continuation 7//.BR for 8 PQB3 we see nothing better 8 QQ4, we arrive at the same position as in the main columns. 35. L. 15. If 8 QKD3, 9 KDQB4, 9 PQR3, 10 KDQ4, 10 BKD3, 11 KDXKD, 11 QXKD, 12 BXB, 12 PXB, 13 QQ4, 13 Q kilobytes 3, 14 QXQKVP. 36. L. 16. The above variations occurred between Messrs. Rosendahl and Steinitz in the Baden tournament, 1870, with the following continuation: 13 KDQ4, 14 KD64 if 14 QKD3, 14 page underscore Q3, I5 KQ square, 15 RXB, 16 KXR, 16 BKD dollars chapter, 17 KK square circumflex accent WRKDQ dollars, 18 PXKD, 18 QK4CH, and wins 14. BXB chapter, I5 pxb, 15 kdx 16 kd% 16 rx kd, I7 bxr, 17 kdxq, 18 rx kd, 18 qxb plus, 37 kl, 17 10 dot pqr3, 11 kkdqb3, 11 kkdk2, 12 pkkd3, 12 qr3. Make, we believe, also be played with safety. 38 kl, 18. The moves in this column occurred between Messrs. Blackburn and Steinitz in the fourth game of their match of 1876. 89 kl, 18. In the sixth game of the same match White played 10 kkdr3, and then followed, then qq5, exclamation point 2 qkd5 chapter, 12 q63, 13 qq2, 13 qxkdf. 66 The Scotch Gambit. pk4 kkdb3. The Scotch uam1 uj. 67 40 kl, 19 8 br for 9 qq2, 9 pqr3, 10 kdrj, 10 bxkd, 11 qxb, 1 greater than xq, gives black hardly any advantage. 41 kl, 19 if gpqr3, 9 br4, 10 pqkd4, 10 bkd3 and wins, for white's kkd has no escape. 42 kl, 20 or 9 qb64, 9 kkd4, 10 bkd3, 10 pkr4, 11 pkr3, upr dollars, 12 br2, 12 kdxb, 13 kxkd, 13 pkd5, 14 pxb, 14 qkd4, 15 bk2, 15 q65 chapter, 16 kr square. If 16 kkd square, 16 pr6, and wins 17 kdxb plus. 43 kl, 20. Continued 14 pxb, 14 qb6 chapter, 15 kr2, 15 bq3, and wins. This fine variation was first pointed out in the London Chess Monthly and afterward occurred in a match between Messrs. Delmar and Lichfields. T. kl. 21. The move of this variation occurred in the match game between Senior Golmayo and Captain Mackenzie. We slightly preferred white, whose pawns on the queen's side are compact, while the black pawns are separated. 45 kl. 22. Black has the majority of pawns on the queen's side and may continue accordingly with kdqb4 or bqb4, with the superior game. Greater than 46 kl. 23 or 10. Kd 11 page 65, 11 bxb, 10 pxkd, 12 br3, 12 r47 kl. 23. Continued 14 qxr or 14 kkd2, 15 663, 15 bkd5, 16 bxb plus 15 qr6 chapter, 15 kkd square, 16 kk2, 16 qkd7, 17 kd. Page K4 The Scotch Gambit. kkdb3 kdxb asterisk pk4. 25. The Scotch Gambit. 69 kl. 25. If 1 bxkd, utxq, exclamation point to bxqch, 12 kxb, 13 pqr3, 13 pxkd, 14 pxb, 14 pxkdp, 15 qrkdsq, 15 qrkd square dot plus Salvioli. In the Vienna tournament, 1882, between Poulsen and Zukakar toward, occurred IIQB2, U page 05, 12000, 12 pxkd, 13 p, I5, 13 pkr3 I53 qxb, I for rq8ch, I for kk2, 15 bxkd chapter plus 14 pxkd, I for kdpxb plus. Kl. 25. Continued 13 kdxq, 14 kilobytes qb6, 14 kdxkd, 15 bxr, 15 kdks. Chapter 16. Page underscore qb3 plus Salvioli. Kl. 26. If 9. .po.4, 10 bkd5 chapter, 10 kb square, ubb6, uqrkd square. 1200f. Kl. 26. Or px 12 kdx beer, 12 kdx skady, 13 px skady, 13 bxb chapter. If 13 qx beer, 14 qb3, etc. 14 rxb, L26. This variation is extracted from an analysis of this form of opening by Professor Berger, which appeared in the International Chess Magazine of December, 1887. Professor Berger dismisses here the game in favor of black on account of the latter's prospective attack on the open QKD file. We do not, however, agree with this conclusion, and as already stated in the above-quoted journal, we think that the weakness of black's doubled pawn and far advanced QPF for the ending will not be outweighed by any formation of attack against white's king, e.g. 13. bk3, 14 kd64, 14 qrkd square, 15 qkd3, 15 rkd5, i6 pkd3, threatening qk5, followed by kdr5, or kdk5 at once with the superior game. 53. L. 2. If 13 bkds, 13 bb4, 14 bk3, 14 bxb, 15 qxb, 15 pqb4 plus. Page 54. L. 27. The above line of play occurred in a consultation game between Messrs. Bowers, Barnes and Crispy, against Messrs. Characters, Dr. Rosenthal and Cedar. 55. L. 28. If 7 pq for, the position arises similar to that in Call. 21, and white may exchange pawns followed by bkd5 chapter, with a good game, even if black afterward forms the double p by bxkd. For white's queen will subsequently enter at q4, followed soon by pqb4, 56. L. 28. Better than 10 bxkd, iipxb, 11 pkr3 necessary, as white threatens bxkd, followed by qr$. If 11. Page qb3, 12 pqb4, 12 pq$, 13 page 65 plus. Again, if n. B. K3, 12 p kilobytes 4 plus, 12 bk3 with the superior game. 67. L. 28. The above moves occurred in the second match game between Messrs. Steinitz and Zucker toward in 1886, with the exception of a transposition of moves. 4 black played 7. PQ for, and after the exchange of pawns, both sides castled. 58. L. 29. I's attack was introduced by Byrne and for some time was I.Iduck in favor. 59. L. 29. The right defense, which we believe was first adopted by the Ref. W. Wadey. If 5q63, 6kd63, 6kkdk2, 7kdk3, with a good game. 60. L. 29. If 6px beer, 6bx skady, 7px skady, 7bxb chapter, 8kxb, 8qxq, 9px beer, 9qq 4 plus. 61. L. 29. Or 7qx beer, 7qxq, 8pxq, 8kdkds plus. 62. L. 29. Threatening rxkd with an irresistible attack. L. 30. Obviously if 14qx skady, 14 rk square, and if 15 bk4, then 7 though the Scotch gambit. 9 kkdb3 bb for 1 pk4 fluid q. 31 32 0. The Scout gambit. 71. 64. L. 32. If 9 bx skady, 9 rxb, 10 pxb, 10 pkkd4, 11 qq square, iiqq2, 12 pkd4, 12 bkd3, 13 bkd2, 13 pq6, 14 qx beer, hkdk4, 15 qk2, 15 qr6, 16 kdq2, 16 p kd5 and wins. For if white play p kilobytes 4, black answers pkd6. The above variation is from the German handbuch. I65. L. 32. From a game between Rosenthal and Bird, London Tournament, 1883. 66. L. 33. White's attack is broken. If, for instance, 12 br4, 12 pkkd4, 13 kdx beer, 1314 bx beer, HKDK 4, 15 p kilobytes 4, 15 kdx beer and wins. 67. L. 34. 9 QK2 leads to greater difficulties. Circumflex accent. Circumflex accent. 10 PIO. 10 PX. NBR 3. UQB3. 12 QRKSQ. 12 KKDK2. 13 KDX beer. 13 KDX KD. 14 QKD5 chapter. 14 KKDB3. 15 PB4 plus. 68. L. 34. Evidently best. If, for instance, 11 PX beer, 12 QRK square, 12 Q64, 13 KDX beer, 13 KDX KD, 14 P kilobytes 4 with a powerful attack. 69. L. 34. Continued 14 BX KDP, 14 BX beat, 15 QX beat, 15 OO, 16 QX BP, 16 KD63, even game. 70. Gall. 35. It makes no difference whether white takes the beat at once or checks first at Q5, driving the KKD2, black can always afterward proceed with PQ for 71. L. 35. Or 10 QXB chapter, 10 QXQ, PXQ, then KDKD5, 12 KDR3, 12 RK square chapter, followed by KDXQP plus 72. L. 35. 11 KB square might lead to the following brilliancies: 11 RK4, 12 PQB4, 12 QR5, 13 KDQ2 to prevent QKS13. DR6, 14 QR3, 14 QRK square, 15 PXB, 15 RK6, 16 PXR, 16 RX with a winning attack. 73. L36. If 10 KDX beer, 10 KDX KD, then QX KD, 11 QX, 12 QX, 12 PQ6 disc, chapter, and wins. 74. L. 36. Black threatens to win the KP by PKR3, and if 12 RK square, 12 PQ6 disc, chapter, 13 K moves, by 3 KDQ5 plus. The Scout Gambit. Page K4. The Scotch Jam like. 75. L. 37. Or 8. KDK4. 9 KDXRP, 9 RX KD, 10 QBK KDs, IO KDB6 chapter, 10 PX KD, IRQK4, exclamation point to BXPCH. Plus. 76. L. 37. If H.QXKP, 12 PX beer, 12 QBK KD5, 13 QQ5 and wins. But it is noteworthy that white would lose by 13 PXR queening, 13 BXQ, 14 QB6, 14 KKD-KB5. 77. L. 38. Best. Ish 6. BKD5, 7 QKD3, 7 BXKD, 8 QXKDP, 8 KO.2, 9 QXR, 9 QKD3, 10 PKKD3, 10 QKD5, 11 RK square. 78. L. 38. For 10 KQ square is black's JBest answer, since, if 10 PQB3, white answers KDX beer. 79. L. 39. 5 PQB3, 5 PX beer, 6 KDX beer, 6 BK3, 7 BXB, 7 PXB, 8 QKD3, 8 QB square, 9 KKD-KB5 is, in our opinion, well defensible for black, who ought to maintain the P plus. 80. L. 39. Not 8 kilobytes QKD5 at once on account of a PXKD, 9 KDXKD, 9 QXQ chapter, 10 KXQ 10 PQR/3, 11 BR.4, 11 BQ2, recovering the piece. 81. L. 39. Or 8. Page 63, 9 QBXBP, 9 PXB, 10 QRs chapter, 10 KK2, 11 BX beer, threatening mate by Q67 plus. This column is quoted from a game between Bilgur and von der Lasa. 82. L. 40. Or 7 PX beer, 7 PQ.3 plus. 83. L. 42. To simplify matters, if black try to keep both pawns he may get into difficulties. e.g. R10. PQ3, IIB 93, UQB 64, 12 KDR4, 12 QR4, 13 KDXB, 13 KDXKD, 14 BXKD, 14 QXB, 15 PXB, 15 BXB, 16 BXB, etc. 84 L 42. This variation occurred in a game by correspondence between Edinburgh and London in 1827. 74. Page K for PK4. The Scout Gambit. KKDB3 B3. 43 BQB4 44. KD5 Chapter 4. Opus 87. NQBXB KDBJPQ3. KDKD5 exclamation point 85p. Circumflex accent page Q486. 45 46 47 48. BQB 493. Page Q30206S equals KDB3. KDXB KD5 Chapter UBKD00 KDK2/KDR3 KDB3. Page QKD400020 OK underscore KDK4 QBKD3 of underscore KR88 OK underscore RSQ91 page underscore KKD4D9400 KDKDs KDK4B KD3 for NPX KDJN question mark equals circumflex accent 3 JN KDKD5 by UQ underscore K289 by U KDXP KDB3 KDXRP page KD395 NO KR3A1 KDB3 87 BKKD5 plus 90 92 RK square for P kilobytes for tilde 96 12 KD2 plus 96 11 B64 chapter KR square BX KD PXB 97 0098 RK square RQ square BQ 2 13 column for 6 move 9 dot PKKD4 black column for 8 move 10 QR4 black underscore WMM white white the Scout Gambit 75 85 call 43 if 8 PKS 8 KDKD5 9 PKR3 9 KDRs 10 PK6 1000 86 L 43 after 9 dot KDX 10 BX KD 10 PQ for UBK to his white's best move for if UBQ 3 II KDKD5 12 KD63 12 KDXB 13 KDX 13 Q63 14 page 64 14 64 and black's passed pawns become very dangerous 87 L 43 stronger than 12 KDK4 12 RK square question mark 3 PX 13 RK3 not 13 dot RX KD 14 QXP 14 RR5 15 QR8 chapter and mates next move 14 RQ square 14 QK2 after the move in the text black has no better answer than 12 QX KD whereupon white captures the R queening the P with a chapter and remains with the exchange and 2 pawns ahead 88 L 44 if 9 dot KDQ5 10 QQ3 10 Q63 11 PXB then KDX KD chapter 12 QX KD 12 QXR 13 QXB chapter 13 KQ square 14 BKD dollars chapter and wins 89 L 44 or 10 Q63 11 BKD2 11 KDK4 if MQKD3 12 KDR for plus 12 KR square for white afterward proceeds with KDX KD followed by P kilobytes for 90 L 44 continued 12 BK3 13 KDQ5 13 BX KD 14 PXB 14 KDK4 15 BKD dollars chapter 15 KB square 16 QRK square with the superior game 91 L 45 K9 PKR3 10 QKD3 10 BKD3 UQKDQ2 then KDR4 12 QR4 plus this column with notes are quoted from Cook's synopsis 92 L 45. Continued. 14 QR6, 14 KD square, 15 KDQ2, 15 BX 16 KD 16 P kilobytes 3 plus 93 L 46. This position also occurs in the Danish gambit by a transposition of moves. 94 L 46. It is very rarely that such an early advance of the KKDP can be recommended, and it looks especially dangerous here, as the range of White's QB is increased. But we think this is quite sound now. 95 L 46. If 10 page 64, 10 PX 10 RX 10 BKD2, 12 KD negative 65, 12 KD X KD, 13 PX KD, 13 QKD 4 plus 96 L 46. White cannot well advance the KDP, e.g., 12 page 64, by 2 PX by 3 PX 13 Q Hars, 14 QQ2, 14 KR KD square dot plus 97 L 47. Or 9 KDX 10 KDX KD, 10 PX KD, 11 U greater than KD3, then 00, 12 BR 3 plus